Pag po nagbabalik, kasama po rin po natin si Ariel at saka si Hil Ramos at saka si Boots Valdez. Babalikan po natin yung puntong ni-raise po ni Boots. Ano? Isang pong problema, yung segmentation ng cabinet. Ano? Yung mga cluster. Meron pong silbi yan. Ano? Na isang cluster, pag-aaralan, yung isang issue o problema common to the departments belonging to that cluster. Pero isa rin panganib na malaki, kung yung cluster na lang ang nakikita ng presidente. One cluster is given so much importance, nandun ang assignment lahat, the rest of the cabinet, wala nang funksyon, kundi magpatawa sa Pangulo, magpasaya, no? Court jesters, etc. So, kung professional ang organisasyon, hindi mangyayari. Pero kung hindi professional, kung walang level of competence na mataas itong mga nakaupo, yun ang mangyayari. At palagay ko, ito ang nangyayari dito. No?
Sometimes, siguro we might fall into the trap of looking at the government as having the same type of goals that we might want for the country. But what Ariel had brought up kanina was precisely very critical in the sense na baka naman may objective ang gobyerno na hindi natin alam at kanila lang at hindi nila pwedeng ilabas dahil nakakahiya o alam nilang na it's not going to be popular. And ako, I want to latch on that because I said, it's better not to listen to what they say, but look at what they do. What was yung parang talagang kinakailangan ipasa na law, na talagang ginawa niya lahat ng kanyang magagawa para mailabas ito, maipasa? The RH bill. What is the RH bill? It always has to do with population. And then you look at the program. The program is privatization of all public utilities.
Kaya may PPP.
May PPP. What does it do? It creates precisely more difficult situations for the useless eaters. Tayo siguro will be able to overcome some of these things. But the real level, the useless eaters, the uneducated, the extremely poor, non-productive.
Paliwanag mo lang yung phrase na useless eaters na yan. Baka hindi pa alam ng ating mga kababayan.
Yung mga useless eaters, yung mga ina-identify ng isang gobyerno na wala nang silbi sa society. Walang silbi. Dahil hindi mo na sila kayang turuan, hindi na pwede sa mapangkinabangan.
Hindi na pwede maging domestic helper.
Hindi na pwede maging domestic helper. O kaya, ito yung useless eaters. Pati na yung mga matatanda na wala nang kaya, nag-retire na, at wala nang kayang mabuhay.
Wala nang ambag sa lipunan.
Pero ginagastusan pa ng gobyerno para mabuhay.
Yung po bang colloquial term, pala mo rin? Gano'n ba?
Well, maybe, pero it's actually mas mabigat pa dyan. Because government identifies this as useless eaters. And
term ho ng gobyerno yan? Term nila yan?
No. But this is, nakikita po natin ang nangyari ngayon.
Population control.
Tsaka yung mga ibang mga lipunan, hindi lang ngayon at present, but in history. Hitler was the first one who used this term, useless eaters. When he identified the older people, the handicapped, and the extremely poor, and he focused on them to withdraw government services from them. The government, not social security, because he didn't have that, but the support of government to them, in terms of health and was going to be withdrawn because it was going to be focused on the productive members of society. Yan yung paliwanag ng what we call useless eaters. Now, the government dito sa atin, kung ang kanyang identification of that sector of society, and they identify them, they identify them as useless eaters. Why? because the program that they had implemented and are still implementing is precisely making those people die.
So you're saying that there's a private agenda behind what government is doing.
Yes.
Are you talking about a foreign hand that is provoking or
Well,
inciting them towards this agenda?
That's possible, right? And I think very possible, because you look at this not as a specific program for the Philippines. It's the same thing that's being done for other countries, especially in Africa.
Yes.
Where these things are being done. Now we call it depopulation.
Ano po ang gobyerno kung almost everything is privatized, liberalized, almost all industries are deregulated, yung tariff almost non-existent?
It's supposed to implement this kind of program.
Yeah.
That's what government is.
Ang sinasabi ni Ariel, may mga ginagawa ang gobyerno na hindi natin alam kung bakit nila ginagawa. Yun lang ang sinasabi.
Yeah, oo.
So may mga...
Should we redefine what governance
sasabihin
is?
sabihin ni Pnoy, kaya naman ako ineffective dahil sa my hands are tied. There are certain global interests that's pushing me towards this direction.
And then he should resign.
Actually, ang tanong ni Ariel, mayroon pa bang ginagawa ang gobyerno para sa bayan?
Wala
sa
na.
taong bayan.
Yung enerhiya, privatized. Transportation, privatized. Hospital, privatized.
Energy is the most logical thing. It's most visible. Kasi tingnan mo, common sense will tell that government must intervene in a situation where in the Philippines we are paying the highest electricity rates in the world. No? Actually, it's higher than Japan no? In absolute terms, no? On a per kilowatt basis. You will see that government should intervene in this particular case, but it does not. What it does in reality and in actuality is they even support the increase in rates. When Meralco had, when was it, so many months ago, when Meralco had announced that it was going to be increasing it by so many pesos per kilowatt hour, Malacanang intervened and says they think it's a reasonable increase.
Saka maganda sa numero yun, tataas ang GNP.
Exactly. And you will look, even in our NEDA statements, when they publish these NEDA statements about the GDP, they even say that the booster for the GDP figures no, is the energy sector. And it's like an admittance no, that this is what's pushing the so-called economy.
So hindi tataas ang sweldo ng tao?
Well,
Kasi
hindi talaga tataas.
Tataas ang gutom. Ang ating
hindi tayo ma-industrialize
solusyon,
kagaya ng South Korea.
yeah, exactly. It's good that you brought that up. Kasi kanina we were talking about how a government was prepared itself. Na? When China decided to what it wants to be during the time of Deng Xiaoping, they identified what they want China to be in one generation, and they did it. Now, what did they do? They did not focus on the people's knowing handicrafts. They started investing in major infrastructure. Number one was energy.
Yeah.
And the rest actually fell. Number two, together with it, was the water management projects, dams that they were constructing.
Which is also energy based.
Right, exactly, water and energy. So all of this work was being done. And once they had this basic infrastructure, they now had the affordable, reliable energy to put up the factories.
And they were so proud of announcing in their Yangtze River Dam development
Right.
that 95% of what they used to construct the dam came from China. Only 5% was imported, like a turbine machinery from
Right,
some place to
exactly.
generate.
Pero bago nangyari lahat na ito, Boots, isa sa pinaka-importanting hakbang ang ginawa ng Chinese government, yung nagpadala ng scholars outside of China, thousands of scholars every year, para pagbalik, yung bagong karunungan ay may balik sa China. Wala po tayo niyan. Pero como masyado mabilis ang takbo ng oras, iwan natin itong ekonomiya at sandaling titingnan natin ang area ng foreign relations. Ano? Kasi yung isang bansa, hindi maaaring mabuhay ng nag-iisa. It has to prosper within a community of nations. Anong dapat gawin natin para makita nating matahimik ang ating pakikipag-ugnayan sa lahat ng bansa, malapit o malayo sa atin?
Before, there was a concept, especially during the new order that Franklin Delano Roosevelt initiated in the U.S. It was he said that the concept of sovereign nation states was going to be upheld, and that in the sovereign nation states, he was envisioning a community. The world comes into a community of sovereign nation states with one single objective: for the upliftment of the quality of man, for the whole world. Meaning, each sovereign nation state, rather than thinking of it for itself, thinks for the whole of humanity. Although parang napakahirap makita ngayon nung nakikita mo talagang naghihilaan, no? Pero if we are to save ourselves, no, and promote these ideas, I think the world, through the leadership of a leader nation like the United States, must push the same ideas. Right now, the way I see it, based on their programs and development programs, the way I see it, it is Russia, China, and India that are espousing these principles. But it's not coming from the US, from the UK, from France, or from any other country right now.
The world as a community of nations, even with the fiction of phrases like primus inter pares, or the first among equals, is really an equal community of nations. And one of them there will dominate. And the world always had some sort of Rome in different regional areas at different historical times. And right now, the Rome of the world in the globalized economy is the United States. The United States maintains the sea lanes. The United States maintains free trade. It is very jealous about the hegemonial role of the dollar. Kaya nga may mga suspicions na kaya nagkagulo yung euro kasi ayaw ng US na may competition sa being the prime currency of the world, itong dollar natin. Kaya ngayon, ang mga areas of conflict ay dahil sa may competition for resources. Kasi economics and politics cannot be divorced from each other. Both disciplines and both sciences are allocation arrangements to allocate resources among the rest of the world. Kaya nga noong una, there is such things as political economy. And right now, in a new situation where everybody isn't competing with each other, we'll talk about a globalized political economy.
May importanteng punto po yung nabanggit ni Hill, pero po nabusan tayo ng panahon. Ang dapat malinaw po sa atin, marami pong intereses na nagko-compete. Nasaan ba tayo dyan? Ano bang capability natin na makipag-compete? Whatever our capability is, dapat siguro yung ating sovereignty ang maingatan all the time, no? Yung ating karapatan bilang isang bansa ay maipaglaban natin without necessarily pushing for conflict or war.
Yeah.
Pero ito po ating babalikan siguro sa susunod na
Episode.
ng ating
Pinoy.
programa. Nandiyan pa rin po si Pinoy, kaya maaari pa nating pag-usapan sa susunod na programa, yung After Pinoy. Hanggang po sa susunod na linggo. Ito po muli si Tatad kasama si Ariel. Nagpapasalamat sa inyong lahat dito sa ating programa, Una sa Lahat.